Oh, hail and welcome. Apex Comics, Apex After Dark here, everybody. Yes, we are live. It is midnight. It is January the 16th, 2022. If everybody wants to know what day it is, and it's a new day, and it's still after dark. And if you caught, I made a little bit of an appearance from a super chat this morning on Ethan Van Sciver's channel, Comic Artist Post Secrets. You may have catched that. If not, watch it on a rewind. So they're talking about Batgirl. There's going to be a possible Batgirl movie. I think she's going to be introduced in the DC EU, but her, I mean, she looks like no offense to the actress whatsoever. Uh, what's her name? Is it Catherine Grace or whoever she is? I'm sure she's very nice. It's just the company who puts this stuff out. I mean, the way they dressed as Batgirl, not as feminine as you would think a Yvonne Craig Batgirl would look like, right? Yvonne Craig was something else. I mean, if you watch the old Batman's TV show, Yvonne Craig, what an hourglass figure. I mean, if you haven't seen her, Yvonne Craig as Batgirl, it's a must. That is the epitome of Batgirl. That's how I pictured it through my years of growing up, watching comic book TV shows and movies, that sort of thing. So here we are, man. So I will put an invite, of course. Here we go. And we'll go ahead and list it up here. Everybody wants to join in. Here we go. It's the link. And so, oh man, I told a couple of mods, Shadowhawk Backs, Felix Ass, hopefully they'll be here. Whoever, Green Laser, maybe. It's just me. But that's okay, man. We're going to have some more people coming up here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's introduce the gentleman here we all know. Yes, sir, my co-host, one and only Devil Fly. Hello, hell. How you doing? All right. Yeah, yeah. We're thinking people may be driving late at night, maybe at a truck stop somewhere. We're thinking, oh, damn, I think I'm missing Apex After Dark. Oh,
Got me cracking up, Apex.
thanks. Thanks, man. Did you see EVS live this morning?
No, I caught a snippet of it, but not when he was talking about Batgirl.
Oh, please watch, man. I had
Yeah.
to send a super chat. I paid $5 for advertisement on his stream, so there's more than 1,000 people watching. So
Yeah, there you go.
maybe people forgot. Who knows, man?
How many pennies is that per person?
Yeah, right. How many pennies? Definitely. I'm thinking, well, okay, you have to watch the rewind. But anyway, basically what it was, they showed this outfit as Batgirl, and it looked like a 12-year-old boy's inside the outfit. It's actual girl. I'm sure the actress is nice whatsoever, but it's Warner Brothers, man. They're trying to desexualize Batgirl. It looks like not giving her enough boobs or something. And I'm thinking, well,
definitely.
Fanbat has Golden Globes.
Well, they're armoring,
yeah, armored boobs
them up, and they're hiding their sexuality. So
yeah,
whatever doesn't work,
whatever. Yeah,
one way and they go the other way. One way street and they go the wrong way. So
right, man.
It's like the BBC came out with a few days ago with the information on a leak of information on the animated Doctor Who's, that they're going to stop doing those after the next one that comes out, which is Abominable Snowman, and they're so close to getting what they erased stupidly, but I mean cost effective, but nobody's watching the show, and especially in America, it's all become woke and nobody. I'm really surprised, since she's traveling around in a police box, that there hasn't been anti-police sentiment towards that show. but just
Right.
for that fact.
So if they do defund the police, that means what? No
No
box to move
police
around in.
box. It can reconfigure, so they'll have to change it into something else. I mean,
It'll
why
be a
not?
fireman's box or something like that.
Yeah, there
Uh,
you go. A fire hydrant. And then
fire
all the
hydrant.
dogs, the alien dogs
They'll
will come
piss
up
on it.
and yeah,
It's for fuel, so they can go through time. They'll think creatively. I don't know.
yeah,
I hardly ever watch Doctor Who.
yeah. I
But
started about 5 years ago when I was turned 50, and I started with the classic. They at my Barnes and Noble, which later would be gone, and is gone now because a tornado hit the mall and
that's
wiped out
horrible.
that section of the mall. And so
Oh,
we don't even have a good bookstore here in town. But
yeah.
um, yeah, I started with the Hartnell first 3 stories, which the second series was the first Dalek story, which was
Oh, yeah.
okay. But I said, oh, yeah, old TV from 63. I'm in for that. Of course, it was like November 23rd, 63. Actually,
Wow.
they broadcast the first one on the day Kennedy was shot. And so the
Oh,
next week, they rebroadcast it again because they thought a lot of people would have missed it.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
idea.
so November 23rd is kind of unofficially Doctor Who Day. And that's when they announced this last animated thing, but they didn't say it was going to be the last. It may not be the last, but as far as funding from the BBC, which, you know, when they go woke and they don't get the funds in like they were 10 years ago when that was the hottest thing on the convention circuit, hotter than just about anything when David Tennant was there, I'm told. Uh, you know, they fritted all that away. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like Marvel does a hit movie, but they don't capitalize in their books. You know, oh yeah, I want to read some Thor, so they go over there and it's female Thor. It's
It's
not the
Jane
same Thor.
Foster.
Yeah, or it's not it's Ironheart instead of
It's Riri
Tony
Williams.
Stark. You know,
Oh
Iron
God.
Man. It's something,
Yeah.
and they don't capitalize on that.
No.
So
That's why if you hire someone who's not a comics fan, they're not going to care how to market their comics, how to market in correlation with the movies. It's really a no-brainer.
yeah, if they don't know by now,
Yeah.
I can't help them.
No,
I
they can only
you know
help themselves. Yeah, which not very
Yeah,
much.
I'm kind of behind on collecting a couple of the animated things,
Oh yeah.
and some need the whole thing done, and some that was erased, and all we have, and the reason we have some of the audio is, you know, people took their recorders and put it up to the TV or
Yeah.
somewhere a little bit more sophisticated, and they recorded the audio, and that's the only reason we have the audio. I have one of the audios from the book here that I'm going to feature tomorrow, but just that's one of my favorite, The
Oh
Rescue.
wow.
And this is the original Doctor Who, the Hartnell, and just one of the creatures. You can see how cool that creature is, just
Oh my
illustrated.
gosh, it's like a
This is
bee
would
or
be
an
Yeah,
insect.
and then there's another one down here, but
Okay.
yeah, it's only a two-parter, but this introduces a new companion, Vicky, who
Yeah.
took over for Susan, that was supposedly his granddaughter
Wow.
originally in the original
Yeah.
thing. Ooh, I'll be featuring that too. You seen that?
Oh hell,
Hard Day's Night
Hard
ticket
Day's Night.
stub. Yeah.
A ticket stub. Oh,
Yeah. Whoop. Man, I
look at
always
the
go
little
opposite. There we go.
Beatles.
Whoa, there we go.
Man,
Got
I
my
tell you what,
Beatles.
EVS will drool on this. I
He's
tell you.
probably got one signed by each Beatle.
Yeah, once her maybe
He's
passed
into
on.
autographs.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
big
Got
time.
my Creature of the Black Lagoon. I
Oh
have
wait,
to
let me
bring out my other stuff.
see. Oh man, I
Yeah.
like that shirt. That is
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
says your lagoon or mine.
Oh, there you go.
Then the classic. Did you know Clint Eastwood's first movie was the sequel to Creature of the Black Lagoon?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when
Played
he
a
was a
lab
young man.
technician, had a little white mouse he kept in his pocket.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I've got a
cool.
pretty neat creature that has big mitts for hands. I mean,
Oh my God,
up
he's my.
there.
He's
And
my.
one of the stretchy ones, you know, they
Yeah,
came out with the stretchy monsters. Those are pretty cool.
yeah.
And
I
even
had
a
a.
Burger King one. It looks
They
like it
did.
might glow in the dark, but
I
I
had
don't
this
think it
one
does.
when I was a kid. It was a Sea Devils. It had the creature from the Black Lagoon in it as a
Yeah,
as a little action figure, like little bendable type thingies, and
with the wire in them.
the wire em, yeah,
Yeah, the
exactly.
bendies. Yeah,
The little bendies. Yeah, before
bendables.
I actually called bendies, they're actually
Yeah,
just action figures with wire. You can move them around a little
yeah. I
bit.
had a Stretch Armstrong. Of course, that was a little different. Had filled with
Yeah.
red corn syrup.
Wow, is that what it was? I didn't
It
know that.
was, yeah, yeah. And mine had a
Dang,
little skin flaw in it to begin with, a little nick. So
yeah,
eventually, that
this stretches.
leaked out.
Oh wow.
I tried to keep it and support it in the box. Even just the heads that you could pop off of them are
Oh,
worth
okay.
something,
Wow.
of the original ones. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
I had to throw
That's
mine away. It was just leaked everywhere, and he looked like he'd been ran over by a Mack truck or something.
oh yeah. I used to have, of course, the 12-inch GI Joes, and one time I remember throwing one up in the air and it
Ones
dropped,
with the
and
hair.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
his leg like broke. I was like, oh no. And then I was playing around with one of them, and it sprung out. The band broke, and his parts went disassembled. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
uh-oh. And so you try to assemble them back together with rubber bands. That
I
doesn't work
told you
as
I
well.
still had mine, but I never had the big hulking Goliath villain. You remember
Oh,
him?
the
That was
intruder. The intruder.
yeah, and then you had, of course, the cybernetic robotic.
Yeah, Mike Power, the Atomic Man.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I never had him either,
I neither. I
but
saw remember the old comic book ads for them, and Bullet Man, the Human Bullet.
yeah, yeah,
That
that
was
was a
cool.
throwback, wasn't it? I
That
mean,
was.
really,
Anyway, it was kind of the golden age. It wasn't really
yeah,
the golden age, but it's based from the golden age. Makes he had steel arms. He crashes through mountains, flying
yeah.
in the air,
That's
and
the
the
way
bullet
they'd play
helmet.
it, huh? Running down a line or.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if you have you watched Lord Crackhead tonight? Any
Oh
chance?
no, I've
Okay.
been real selective lately on I watched like 3 different series of Tom Baker Doctor Who
Oh, that's cool.
just to get my mind off stuff. I mean, it's
Well,
been
there.
raining here all day and it's starting to
Oh,
turn into slushy snow now.
wow.
So, it's been drizzly all day long.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? Well, anyway, Lord Crackhead, they were talking about Mark Polton is taking an old Black Owl character from the 40s, and
Oh, he looks awesome. Yeah, I have seen that.
he's doing a book on that.
Mhm.
So that'll be interesting to look forward to from CG.
Hey, they're public domain. Why not? I mean, Eric
They are.
Larson yesterday showed a nice retro cover 9.8 of I believe it was 181 of Savage Dragon that had the claw and
Oh wow.
Daredevil.
Okay.
It's right up there under the duck, right
Oh,
there,
under the
kind of
duck.
golden
Oh,
cover.
oh, I
Yeah,
see it. Oh yeah.
yeah, the
Okay.
StreamYard duck. Yeah,
The streamer duck.
9.8
Oh
signed
wow.
by him.
That's crazy. Oh
But
man.
yeah, it's pretty nice. He uses Daredevil a lot, and he's used what was the
I have
other?
those. They're like the Golden Age size.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Golden Age
I do
format.
too.
There was
Yeah.
a independent book or something come out of Image there for a while that was Golden Age size, and this is when Hastings was still around, and it
Mhm.
really stood out on the stands of the new comics because of the format.
Oh wow.
You can imagine this thing takes up more shelf space, of course, but I guess they could overlap them like they do, overlap the books, but
Yeah, they
really
do.
stood out with, interesting format. I've given it some thought to making Devil Flyer Golden Age size, but I know a lot of collectors would be like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't fit in with the rest of my collection.
Yeah, I would maybe introduce it maybe later on. If it sell, I'm sure it'll sell well. But
Oh
yeah, just
man,
standard
Golden Age
size.
art is this big. I mean, it's huge.
It's
Have you seen
huge.
that? And then
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know Todd McFarlane when he did Spider-Man, those dozen or so issues he did, 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
He went to a larger format so he could get more detailed with the webbing and things like
Oh,
that.
that's right.
And then he did that with Spawn. He went to a
Yeah.
large format on his art. And I think
Yeah,
sometimes he still does. I think that's how he likes to work, is larger and then shoot it down.
that's the way I do.
Yeah.
I let my 17 just shoot it down. Yeah.
Yeah. And then through experience, I guess, when you reduce it so far, you're going to lose some. You can kind of gauge how fine you can get without losing anything.
Yeah. You just want to make
Hmm.
it look crisper, even though it's
Yeah.
a reduced size.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You start
That's,
losing resolution. You've went either too big or too
yeah.
small.
True.
Yeah.
I only have enough resolution to get by with.
Well, this
Definitely.
is one of my favorite friends, an
Oh, let me
eraser.
see that. Let me see that. Oh,
Right.
that. Yes.
Just to think, I
I have
know.
made one.
Do you like the white magic eraser, or I just get these cheap pink pearl erasers? I like
I
that
have
they're
the
soft.
yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what I have. Let me go and enlarge myself here. All right, I have actually one of these. It's a Winsor Newton
Magic.
eraser for your
Okay.
graphite or your lead.
Uh huh.
I mainly use
It
the
looks like it's
kneaded
been
eraser.
used.
The kneaded eraser.
Needed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
Yeah. I've got that. I don't use it a lot,
Definitely.
but I have
And
it around. Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. And that's that. And
You ever tried to? I used to use those in college on like Vine charcoal drawings, or I don't know that they work, but
yeah, well, they're
with
mainly
that,
just
it's
for lead.
yeah,
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 there's erasers for almost everything, I
good
think.
smear effects.
Yeah, you can only clean so much out of this.
Yeah,
After a while, you have to replace it, and it's a good idea to have an armament
it's
of needed
it's the gray
erasers.
version to silly putty.
This is the
Did,
silly putty.
did
Yeah,
you ever do silly putty up against
I
the
did. I did some
the
comic strip. You
cartoons and
feel
then peel
yeah,
them away and
yeah, I did.
stretch them?
Yeah,
And now
stretch them.
you have an app on your phone that you can do that with your own face or anything else.
Everything's an app now.
Yeah, no need for silly putty anymore.
No, gosh, wow. How about that? It's gotta have more silly putty.
You had a good week.
Yeah, a decent week actually.
Yeah.
I felt better. Actually, I came down with a flu after the
Ooh.
show. I rested a little bit. I was like, oh, I called in sick for work. Of course, I didn't work that Sunday, but at least I had personal time off. That helped a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
I only got better like about Tuesday night, and I reported back to work that this past Wednesday. So I'm much better now, and I think I may have caught the Omicron. But some of the people I knew at work had caught pretty much the same thing I did. Well, of course, I didn't
Yeah.
know it for sure because there's no tests around to know for sure.
Right.
But I suppose I did.
I
But if
heard
I
there was a
did,
shortage on tests.
yeah, yeah. You think the Biden
Conveniently.
administration would be on top of that?
Yeah, conveniently. No, I wouldn't. I
Yeah,
wouldn't think
right.
that at
I
all.
would not. No, don't put your life in administration, folks. Rely on
No.
yourself. You have to rely on yourself. The government will never ever take care of
You
you.
do. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago back in New York, they had a flood come through there. And remember, like 3 weeks later, people were dumpster diving for food in some areas because FEMA had not showed up and it had been 3 weeks.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
waiting on FEMA and you can't feed yourself, uh, I mean, how do you go from self sufficient to dependent and starving and dumpster diving all in a few days? I mean, that's just not being prepared and
that's
relying
very
too much on the system, in
yeah.
my opinion.
Well, it's true. It's a fact.
You know,
And I think a lot of people should be waking up to this.
yeah,
And
especially the men, they should be manly men like you and I,
exactly.
testosterone, ex
Testosterone
military.
helps. That's
I,
right.
I keep going this way and you're over there. Poke your eyes out.
Uh, uh,
Yeah. I
yeah.
did that on the show, Wonder Twins Activate.
Activate.
Wonder form of a bucket of water.
Yeah. Form of a
A
lizard.
pterod a
The lizard will take a
pterodactyl.
bath in the
Yeah.
water. There you go. That's just weird powers.
Yeah. They
It's
didn't
so
do much.
goofy.
And
The
I
chimp was the
blame
best
Ted
character
Kennedy.
out of the Wonder Twins. I like the chimp.
Oh yeah.
The Bleak,
Gleep.
is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Was it Gleep?
Gleep. Oh, yeah,
Um,
Gleep. And what's that Space Ghost
I
chimp?
know
Is
there's
it
Gloop
Gleep?
and Gleep on
Gloop
the
and Gleep.
Herculoids.
Herculoids, yeah.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
the monkey.
The monkey from from Jan
Yeah,
Jason.
Space Ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then wasn't there a monkey? There's a monkey in the Wonder Twins, right?
yeah, purple
Okay.
or blue. Yeah, blue
He was a
maybe
blue
with a
monkey.
purple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
sometimes he'd win the day.
Yeah, he would. He's
And
smart.
before that, you had Wendy and I forget the boy's name, and a dog like Wonder Dog
Okay.
had a little cape. That was
Yeah.
in the early days, and then they
Hmm.
phased them out. Even they were in the first cartoons. They were in the giant size Treasury, Super
Okay.
Friends Treasury they came out with. But
Oh wow.
later, in about issue 8 or 9, the Wonder Twins came into the comic, and they were in the comic.
Oh
And
okay.
now a few years ago, they had their own book called the Wonder Twins, I think,
I
or
remember
something.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and then I think later on, I think it was like either the late '90s or early 2000s. Alex Ross did the Wonder Twins covers. I think for that
Alex Ross
series.
knows what's up.
He does, man.
His
I
favorite movie is the space opera Flash Gordon.
Yeah, I can see why.
You like Flash Gordon?
It's all
Yeah.
right. Is at
You
first
know
I want
the main actor was dubbed the whole movie, pretty
yeah,
much.
Sam Jones.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I didn't at the time. They did a good
I
job
didn't
on the
either. I
dubbing.
had no idea. I looked at Flash Gordon the first time I saw him. Oh, this is gonna be crap.
Yeah. You
But
know,
the
that was
soundtrack by Queen really made it happen, though.
that's what made it happen for sure,
Yeah.
you know. But the graphics at the opening with
Mhm.
Alex Raymond artwork of the old dailies with the old
Yes,
ships and things, put the music was a great montage. It's
man.
a good movie.
Makes me want to watch it again, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
mean
seen it in
it's kind of
years.
like Batman 66 you were talking about. Biff, bam, pow.
Yeah.
You know, uh with and then of course the Green Hornet, which was a little bit more serious, and
Right.
lasted 1 year at
Yeah.
66.
Yeah, it did. I remember watching had what was that, over 20 episodes, you think? Green Hornet?
Oh, I don't, I have all them. I think it's about like that probably.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Van Jones. I saw a thing on YouTube, whether it's right or wrong. At that time he was actually working for the CIA. He
Oh wow.
claims in an
Huh.
interview, in a couple of interviews.
I heard he was a sheriff at one time.
He was a deputy sheriff out in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, after he kind of gotten out of acting,
Yeah.
which,
He,
I'm not that familiar with what he did after that or anything. I mean, but they had a little recount of some of the things he did. He turned down a role on as a regular on Falcon Crest,
oh wow.
which would have been interesting, but he was into other things. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're
he
being the
was.
real James Bond, you know,
No doubt, man. I
all the rest
wonder
is
if it,
kind of like kids play.
yeah, I wonder if it's the same part that William Devane took on for Falcon Crest. I'm kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't mention on that, but it's on YouTube. Check it out. I
I might
mean,
have to watch that.
it just popped up. These little things pop up.
They do. That's a lot, so
And
much.
have I mentioned that his ancestor in a lot of the Green Hornet pulps and books and things up to about the war years in about 1940, and
Mhm.
then they kind of deviated away from that narrative,
Oh
that his
yeah,
ancestor was the Lone Ranger.
yeah, yeah. Britt Reed and
Yeah.
Dan Reed, right? Dan Reed, and
Hmm.
then Dan was the Lone Ranger, and then Britt Reed was the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
I think they had a team up at one time in the comics. I think
Oh
it was
yeah, and
Dynamite.
they've kind of come full circle, and they're doing that again. I think under the, Alex Ross did a lot of the covers for that Superpowers. It
Yeah,
used a lot of public domain, and
I love the superpowers, man. That was a good
I
little
love that he
series.
loves the obscure stuff. But I
Me too.
mean, John Byrne back in his heyday liked to bring out things like that too. It might have been more mainstream, but it was obscure characters in like Marvel
Yeah,
or DC. He would bring them back to life, and I like that. That shows that they're true fans of the genre, and they're very knowledgeable.
absolutely.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they are big film fans, and they go back and study silent movies. And there's a lot to learn there.
Wow. Yeah, there is.
I mean, John Wayne had his start. Boris Karloff had his start. Of course, Charlie Chaplin had his start.
Yeah,
Very
man.
big. I mean, remained silent even after talkies came in.
I remember watching a 12 parts. It was a 12-part serial where John Wayne was a circus pilot.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
forgot the name of it. I had that on one
That
of the
was an early one.
DVDs. Yeah.
That
That
was
was
an
a young
early talkie
John Wayne in
serial.
his 20s. It was a trip watching that. It was
Yeah.
so cool.
His first
Wow.
big movie though was like one of the first talkies, and it was a western. And it's interesting. You have this. They're going. It's the Oregon Trail. He's leading them to Oregon,
Yeah.
out west. And of course, they have to go through different hardships and other things. And there's an immigrant family. There's the man and his wife and his mother-in-law. Oh
Yeah.
boy, right there's a story. But there's a great little stick in there. He rides a mule and they ride in the wagon. Well,
Yeah.
they stop in this river and they're having this long conversation for about 2 minutes in the movie. And they were like, "Where is your mule?" They finally asked, "Where is your mule?" "I've been sitting on him the whole time." And you don't see the mule I guess he drowned.
Oh man. Oh god.
That was a good little joke in that movie.
That's crazy, man. Oh.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, 60s in cartoons and TV was just so memorable. And all you needed to hear was the theme songs, like to
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies, Get Smart, Mission Impossible, Hawaii Five-O, you name it.
The Avengers, the British Avengers. That's one of my favorite shows.
I didn't see that at the time, maybe because it was in, or I did, maybe forgot, but who could forget Diane Reed?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Diane
yeah.
Reed. Yeah. We're talking
Yeah.
about Mrs. Peel. ABC, they had a contract with the BBC.
Yeah.
And they started to actually air the Avengers around 1967, 68 to American audiences. And you get to see.
And they had The Prisoner on as well.
Oh, I love The Prisoner. I got to watch that again. God, it's been
That's
years
like
since I've seen it.
17 episodes, 19?
I think so.
Right yeah,
only less than what, a season? Patrick McGowan?
Yeah. But very memorable.
Oh, I love that show.
On Hills versus Babyface.
Yeah.
Or whatever. On YouTube, he calls it the greatest show of all time. Of course, he's a Brit,
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it probably is written.
It's written very well.
It was all McGowan who did that.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember him as Longshanks, the king in Braveheart.
Okay. Yeah. Now,
he was in that.
Now, Patrick McGowan was also in the Phantom movie with Billy Zane. He was actually Billy Zane's dad who got killed.
Yeah, and before that, he was in one called Danger Man. Have you seen any of his?
I've heard about that. I haven't not seen Danger Man.
You can catch an episode or 2 or 3 on YouTube for free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I kind of wanted to get them and watch them all in order and not ruin it,
Find a time to do that. That's what I would do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but they're pretty good.
Oh, cool.
Sort of film noir type. Of course, if it's black and white, some things just lose in color, like Dark Shadows. I did all those VHS tapes up to 200 plus tapes because I had a bloopers, 2 best of Barnabas Collins, and just different extra tapes that came with that collection that I got recently. And I just wanted to show everybody what they look like because I'd never seen them before. And you had the old colorized late 80s, early 90s, things. And I look at VHS tapes kind of like the 8-track tape. Of course, I bought 8 tracks because I had an 8-track player and I preferred it over the little cassettes because at least you got a larger thing of the cover art. And that's why I bought them. And I still have a bunch.
I remember having 8 tracks, a few. I
wore some of them out.
I got rid of them. I didn't know use for them. That I hate when you're listening to a song, it just interrupts and it has to wait for to continue the next song
just
and the
play
next
it
track.
till it goes.
Yeah, then it
It
goes.
wads up in there.
Yeah, wads up and it
Yeah,
strings out. It's
sadly,
like
I
it's
don't have a
gone.
player that'll play them anymore, but I do have the 8 and even a case to put them in that I probably got at Walmart.
There was a friend of mine while I was living up in the Northwest around the Seattle area. He's uh he's a Washington State native, but he was a huge collector of 8 tracks. He's an artist also. What he would do, he would have a theme with the 8 tracks where he surrounded the theme with some artwork, surrounded with some 8 tracks related to that art theme.
Well,
It was
that's
so
neat.
cool. Yeah, so
Yeah,
cool. He made batlases for there's a Star Trek uh uh
the Klingons.
Klingons. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Klingons. He's part of the Klingon troop. He made helped make.
Klingon.
Oh
That was
wait,
my
hold on,
first
hold
Funko
on. Let me
Pop.
look at this. Let me look at this thing. Oh, there is a Klingon right there.
There is a Klingon within
But those
reach.
batlases, man, they actually made the
Yeah,
batlases out of real metal, and it was
and
cool.
he's got one in his hand. I don't know
Got
if
a
you can see
batless?
that. It's yeah.
Oh yeah,
See
he
right.
does. I see
Yep.
it. Holy mackerel,
Mhm.
that's
That's my
insane.
first Funko. I've only got about half dozen of them, but that was my first one. He was on a half price, and I said
Oh wow,
Klingon.
that's
Pretty cool.
awesome. That
I'll
is
go ahead
cool.
and show you the other one I got down
Yeah,
here.
show the other one. Oh, there's the Wolverine.
Wolverine in his original or
The
close to original.
Hulk 181 appearance. Is that
Yeah, it looks
basically?
like it.
Oh yeah,
I thought, yeah, you gotta have
it looked
that.
more cat-like in his first appearance
Yeah, that's
than
part of their 80 years.
the
There's
80
an 80
years of
years thing
Marvel.
up there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Grr.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
insane.
I'm gonna show those on the show tomorrow.
Excellent. You
I
should.
got more viewers today than
You did. That's good.
because it being the weekend. I mean, I
Yeah,
catch a lot of people at work at 4 o'clock, but
yeah.
I'm streaming every day at 4 o'clock.
Oh, that's cool.
I
Oh
call
yeah,
it the
man.
4 o'clock shadow.
All right,
4 o'clock shadow show.
no doubt.
Some call it the 3, some call it the 5. I call it the 4.
At
That's
the
what came
four.
to me, and that's what I went with.
Hey man,
When the
that's
inspiration strikes, don't question it. Just go with it.
gotta go with it.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's not going to work for everybody. I lost a sub today.
I lose subs here and there, and I gain subs. You lose subs and you gain subs. It's just it's
Well,
it's like
I
throwing
gotta.
dice.
I have to have you on Apex. I have to have
I'll come on.
guests on to talk and
Of
things like
course.
that to keep
Uh,
some people interested. They just don't want to
right?
see rare collectibles and have me
Yeah.
talk about them for about 30 minutes.
Got
So,
to jazz up the show a bit. Yeah. Well.
hey, I'm
Uh,
all into engaging with the chat.
exactly, man.
Some
Well,
of them come in right at the end. I really hate to end it. It's like, well,
no,
I'm
and
at
like,
the
oh,
end.
they came in.
I've ran out of stuff.
What am I show now?
Yeah, what I show now? You've only been in here 2 seconds.
But anyway, actually, what the show? I have plenty. Actually, I've got. Where the heck did I put them? Um, on part of the Lord Crackhead show this evening, they're talking about. I think one of the. I don't know exactly who it was. It was one of the. Is one of the people that are crowdfunding one of their projects. I don't know if it's NTM Comics, one of those guys. They're for a mailing list. It would be like an ashcan giveaway with like one of those shiny covers, and it
Yeah.
worked. But I would like to show you some of my ash cans that I've actually produced
Did you
throughout the
order
years.
Joe Sontag's ash can?
No, is it on? Is it on?
Well, he came out with one and just been sending out to people now.
It
It
may have
has
been
like a
Sontag.
full color.
I think you're right. It may have been Sontag, but
What,
anyway,
Reaper Destroyer? Yeah. Ooh,
I
look
think
at
it
that.
was. This is Madam
Oh yeah.
X, one of my world. She's the woman with 1,000 faces during World War II.
Are you still using that logo?
Yeah.
Your Apex logo?
No, it's actually Apex Comics, but it's Apex Graphics at the time.
Okay.
But it'll
So
be
that's
Apex
changed a
Comics.
little. Okay.
Yeah. Unless I
Yeah.
hear word from Apex Comics group that they're bitching about it, and I'm like, whatever. No, I'll just keep it Apex Comics. It's me. That's who I am.
There you go.
And yeah, this is from it was like 1999, 2000, somewhere in there.
That looks a little
99,
larger, a
1999.
little taller in size than some of the ash cans I've seen. That's
Actually, it's the actual ash can. This looks taller on my screen.
is it? Oh, so it is smaller in size.
It's actually, yeah, here was the actual comic book.
Okay,
There's a comic book where, okay, let's go with
I guess it's the camera makes it look bigger.
this is the Iron Man book. This is
Okay,
the ash
I
can. It's a
used to
bit,
have that.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's
So it's
good
actual,
size. Yeah,
yeah,
like that.
that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
And what I produced also the Succubus of Liberty. This is,
succubus
yeah,
of liberty.
Succubus of Liberty. This is a
Would
character
that
from
be?
the,
Let me guess. Would that be the vice president?
no, actually, this is from 2003.
Oh, okay.
This is where I started Apex Comics Group. I wasn't really serious about it. Except there's an actual company called Apex Comics Group, but
See,
I actually came up with it before they did. So
this is the type of stuff I like to see, Apex. This is the type of
yeah,
stuff that I order off eBay. This is the type of stuff that I know is limited and that I love to add to my collection. It's
absolutely.
just, I mean, it's really the independent stuff that really, because I don't know what direction it's going. It's all
Yeah,
brand new characters, all new development.
yeah.
I love stuff like this.
Well,
That's
thanks.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Actually, it's took. I did a reduced size of the boards, about 8.5 by 11. I still had the boards with me. They're in an envelope somewhere. And all I did is shrunk them down in size and just reproduced. It took me about, I'd say, about a month to actually produce this one.
Didn't that make you feel good though to get something out?
Thank God. That's why Ashkins are easier to produce.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I
no,
mean, I'm starting off with an ash can of, it may be of my book I'm coming out with, the first 6 pages with a couple of pinups and some
yeah.
backstory. But
We even have an Apex Graphics World War II.
there you
Two
go.
stories. One is Nikolai Starr, the bottom one right here. It's about a Russian dissident who was captured in a Nazi camp, and they're performing experiments. He becomes a chrome warrior, Nikolai Starr. And of
There you
course,
go.
you have the first appearance of Madam X in her little mini comic.
So that's
So
printed on
the
there.
Apex
Or are those
Golden
just
Age.
are those
Yeah,
so is
it
that
comes.
a promo thing there with the little downsized covers on there? Or?
Yeah, it's I produced them each the same
Yeah,
year, 1998.
that's cool.
Back in
Yeah.
1998, and I decided to put them together. I only have a few of these, maybe one more of these left, but I like to reproduce them sometime. And of course, we all we all know. Well, before that, yeah, I'll go and save this another time. But Fembat, I have a Fembat ash can, as it introduces the first 11 pages plus a Captain USA 4-page story inside
Mhm.
this limited edition. It's so limited to only produce maybe a dozen or less or that.
I
But
have respect for anybody that puts out something.
thanks, man.
I mean, that puts out anything. If they get it out, that's more than I've ever done. So
Yeah,
maybe that'll change this year for me.
yeah. You
And
have to
I can
make the
feel like
change
you
happen.
felt before, like I got it out.
Exactly. Yeah,
People can
anyone can
read
do
it.
it. Exactly. Just stay focused. That's all you got to do. You got to plan a time to actually produce the work and do it. Yeah,
Hey,
not that hard.
sometimes you have to challenge yourself. You challenged me a couple of weeks ago, put up some content, give me two
Yeah.
videos. I gave you, I don't know, I've got like 42 videos up now. So
Oh, that's good.
I've
That's
been hitting
hitting.
hitting
That's
it
the way to
less in
do
the
it.
last few days, but
Yeah.
I'll keep hitting it.
There you
Keep
go.
trying to earn the subscribers, put out
Yeah.
daily content.
Daily content
Feed that
too.
beast.
Yeah, I tried to actually put. I got my Patrick Thomas Parnell Right Press Productions was it Ultra Star, and somehow my phone wouldn't actually would upload it onto YouTube. I guess because I have storage problems on my phone, so I have to
Ah,
actually work out that problem. That's a pain in the ass.
well,
Plus, I
I
owe
mean,
T-Mobile some money.
just would you say
When I'm gonna,
it's kind of
oh,
superhero fare?
you're roboting out a little bit.
Superhero fare? Would you say
Yeah,
just
yeah, it's
straight
a more super.
superhero?
Yeah, this
I
is
don't want to pigeonhole it or anything. Just, but yeah, I think he did better on that campaign because it was more, it wasn't as distinct a property. It was more just your superhero fare, and I think he did a little bit better with it.
I think so.
And, but I also like him doing books, like
Yeah,
the idea of doing like
I like that Sleepy
20,000 Leagues
Hollow.
Under the Sea or Sleepy Hollow. Yeah,
Sleepy Hollow, yeah.
yeah, that's a
I, I,
great idea too.
that should
Why
come out in
not?
February. That's what Patrick PTP was talking about. So,
Yeah,
I,
he's a toy fanatic, man. He
God,
leaves me
man,
in
he's
the
so many
dust on
toys.
that.
That's some pretty cool toys. He's a big Transformers GI Joe guy.
Yeah, he probably likes Thundercats and
Yeah, he does. I
just
think he
things
does.
those that was when he was growing up. I mean,
Yeah, that's
for
pretty cool.
me, it's stuff that goes way back to even when I was small because the 70s were bleak.
They
Ted
were.
Kennedy came in with that legislation. I didn't know it at the time, but killed cartoons. Watch the violence you could show, the blood you could show. And you remember that Action ISIS
Yeah,
that Filmation did?
yeah,
I just got the complete 20. I haven't looked at it yet. It's over a friend's house, but I just got that in. So I'll be interested to relive some of that and go, that
yeah.
was before the Bionic Woman came out, and it was before Wonder Woman came out, Linda Carter.
Right.
But
Yeah,
she never hit anybody, not once
Yeah,
in that.
Joanna Cameron. She's
Yeah.
hot. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, she was hot. I mean, some of those live things were the best things in that we got in the 70s. But
Yeah.
he didn't
Shazam.
even hit one person. And they
Yeah.
had kind of like on the ends of He-Man and a lot of Filmation, they had a lesson for the kids at the end, a life
Yeah.
lesson.
Right.
But yeah, I've got my tour up there and Moby Dick
Oh, let me see that.
things, Prince, Moby Dick,
Okay.
the whale, and
Oh
then my
wow.
tour there. He was
Oh
kind of like
wow.
a caveman Thor. Do you
Sure.
remember them from Herculoids and
Vaguely.
Dino
Yeah.
Boy? And you had Space Ghost. You had a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff, and that
Wow.
that was a couple of theirs.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
loved Moby Dick. Anything underwater. I love the Aquaman that Filmation did too. That had
Yeah.
Aqualad and the Walrus Tusky. He never had to
Right.
go up for air. But on Moby Dick, there was two kids with diving suits, and they never had to come up for air either. I mean, they had the diving suits on, but you know, and they had a
Wow.
seal. They had a
Oh yeah.
they had a seal that never had to go up for air in the adventures. I mean, they would do those quick 15-minute cartoons or maybe less,
Yeah.
you know, segued into different cartoons. But I love the underwater stuff
Oh yeah.
because
That's
I
so
mean
cool.
that's to a kid that's like, wow, yeah, I've never been to deep underwater. What's that about?
Right. It's still unexplored lands underwater
Yeah,
when you
and
think about it.
Aquaman would have that cool giant
Giant seahorse.
seahorse. Yeah, his was white, and yeah, and Aqualad had one.
Oh yeah.
Neat stuff. I mean, up to that time, Aquaman was a secondary character. He was a backup character. He wasn't, and I really think that's why he got his title in the 60s for the very
Yeah.
first time, was
Right.
the cartoon that came out. Because he'd
Yeah.
always been like secondary in adventure comics or more fun comics or, whatever. He
That's
was
true.
just a secondary character.
Yeah.
But Aquaman, I mean, come on, he's if you can survive the pressures of the sea, you're like the underwater Superman. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. I remember.
And if you do it right, look at the Aquaman movie. boom.
Yeah.
Did more than any DC
There
movie,
was
I
a
think.
comic book cover with Aquaman versus Superman. Aquaman was kind of drowning Superman in some water, and Superman was doing like like that, just on the ground. I think it
Well,
was
he
from
was
like
on
the late
Super
90s.
Friends, wasn't he? But they didn't
No,
do much with him.
no, he didn't.
And there was a lot of episodes that, or a lot of seasons, he was never in, but he was in the opener. But he was never in the episodes. I used to love when he would call giant whale, or of course, Submariner did the same thing, but he would use a horn, sort of a underwater horn that was
Oh
almost
yeah,
like a musical instrument to blow giganto, or
yeah,
it'd be
the
like
big sea
whale with
creatures.
hands, and feet.
Yeah.
Some
Wow.
Kirby and Ditko old monster goodness from the
Oh
Atlas
man.
years, like
Yeah.
Groot.
Groot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
Groot, before he became popular, he was in like 2 comics. He was
yeah.
in like his first
The,
appearance way back in the
the
Atlas,
Atlas years. Yeah.
like Tales to Suspense or something like that, Tales to Astonish, something like that.
I was
And
tell
then
just yeah.
he was
Yeah.
in a Hulk annual, like Hulk 5,
Right.
giant size annual from the 70s, mid 70s. And that
Yeah.
was it. I have
Yeah.
that one.
I think I've got that one
Second appearance.
of
You
Groot.
can it's still affordable.
Yeah, and also Zemu was like the original Hulk before Hulk. The
Yeah,
furry. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, Aaron Lepresti drew him back in like October and November.
Yeah.
That's an obscure character.
That's very obscure. He like
Yeah,
hypnotizes
but he was
people.
called the Hulk. He
Yeah.
was like a
The
Hulk
Hulk.
prototype without really being, I mean, the
Yeah.
name anyway.
Right. At least that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
you had a
wild.
lot of prototypes, but you did over in DC too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sergeant Rock, his first appearance, you can scratch your head about that because it's like he's got 4 or 5 different first appearances depending on what you want to settle on.
Right. Huh.
It's kind of like, okay, is 180 or 181 the first appearance of Weapon X of
Wolverine.
Wolverine?
Right.
Huh? What would you say?
I think it was 181 because 180 is just a
First.
cameo. You just have a
Oh,
cameo.
well,
It shows them at the last part. Oh, it's the
one panel
Wolverine.
though, he speaks multiple times and he does
Yeah.
identify, I'm
He,
Wolverine, I'm Weapon X.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's one. It definitely his first cover appearance and his first full appearance, so people are gonna
Right.
hop
It's
on
just a
that. But
snippet. It's a cameo.
well, what about ads? What about ads? Like
It's funny. I
Black
remember.
Lightning was featured in an ad in the comics before he came out in Black
Have you
Lightning
ever
#1.
have you ever watched Comic Tom?
Comic Tom, I have.
Yeah, he really stresses a little bit about the ads being the first appearances as well. I thought it's kind of funny. I never
I
thought
have some
about
of
that.
those.
In a
Like
way,
a
it's true.
Spider-Man's black costume was almost 2
Yeah.
years before he even came out.
Yeah, I think some of the ads will be gathering in value because of that. It's insane.
Oh yeah, I mean Todd McFarlane says he signs a lot of Rust #1 from Adventure Comics because it has a Spawn ad in it.
Rust
An early
#1.
Spawn ad.
Wow.
And I have that. And there's 2 versions of that. There's like a full, which I have, and then there's a regular cover. I think it's the same cover, but the logo's done in like copper color or something.
You say Rust #1?
Rust.
Oh.
Yeah, Now Comics did it later, but at first
Okay.
it was Adventure Comics that did it.
I'm gonna have to
Like I say, I like that obscure indie stuff. I
I do
mean,
too.
like
tried.
Cyberfrog.
Yeah.
Cyberfrog was indie.
It was.
Obscure
Yeah, Harris
indie.
Comics. Yeah, man.
Yeah. The only reason I don't have more of it is that, I was about a year too late and
The value went up because people are discovering. That's why sometimes I like to go to Second and Charles. I don't know if you have a Second and Charles in your area.
No.
What it is, it's like a half price bookstore. It's owned by Books A Million.
Okay.
And they have different areas around the United States. Fortunately, we have one in my town.
We had Books A Million here about 15 years ago. It's been going a long time.
Yeah. But sometimes I would they have a lot of indies in the long boxes. Yeah.
I do remember Books of Million used to carry, like Hastings used to carry a
Hmm.
few comics.
Yeah. I think what they did was they had an overstock of these long boxes, and they said, "Well, won't we have a secondary store?" I think that's why how Second Charles came to be, and they have a lot of comics, a lot of of course, the usual Marvel, DC, but a lot of indies from different companies throughout the '80s, '90s, you know, on
Did you
it.
ever get any comics from like? I mean, if you did, it's probably like Hastings or maybe some of the ones that have barcodes,
Yeah,
because you reach 2000 and barcodes like stand stuff is like
mhm,
1% of the printing
yeah,
or
that's true.
less. So
Yeah,
they're much more valuable.
yeah,
Even in the early 90s, it was only like 10%. I mean, it started, I've done a stream on this, but a couple talking about it. But, in 86, it was half and half,
yeah,
half comic stores, half stands. But 87, it dips down to like 38% on stands. And then, by the late 80s, 90s, it's only like 10%. And then you get up closer to 99 or 2000, it's like 1%. And
right.
a lot of those would be like you say, Books a Million
Uh,
or Barnes and Noble or Hastings.
mhm.
And if you got them there, you probably got a barcode. I know I got a couple of key issues like that at
Yeah,
Hastings.
yeah. I had a few. I used to back in the '70s. A lot of times there's this newsstand comics. I went to my 7-Eleven every week, gathered my comics, and I'd go to other places too to gather
Hmm.
comics. And I had comics out. My mom said, "Well, you had comics coming out of your ears." Basically, I did.
Was there something you missed? Because there was a main title I missed for years.
Yeah, I missed
Never.
Giant Size X-Men #1. Oh, but I did catch Giant Size X. I'm sorry, not Giant, but X-Men number 95, Death of Thunderbird. I I proudly own that one. I got X-Men '94 as a gift over 20 years ago. I
That's
still
cool.
have. I'm still looking for that Giant Size X-Men #1. That escaped me. I didn't know that came out.
The guy that I bought a bunch of production art from, who's based out in Arizona,
Yeah.
he's recently had to sell couple of years ago because of his. I think he had to have his esophagus removed or something.
Oh no.
It was, and I thought, man, he's not going to be long for this world, but he's still around. And
Wow.
dealt with him a lot. My friends dealt with him even more than I have, but he had to sell for medical reasons, for money
Yeah.
wise, his X-Men collection, which he really loved. Now he had
Mm.
a complete collection from one to past 500 and
Oh my
all
God.
graded. And most of them, except for the early issues, were 9.8s.
Oh my gosh.
Over 500 issues, most of them 9.8s.
I wonder how much you got for that.
Yeah.
And I hope it's a
I
lot.
mean, I know he used to. Yeah, I hope it was a lot, because that's a dream of his. He also probably had the nicest collection he bought in real early on the pre-Unity Valiant stuff,
Yeah.
which I still don't think has hit its stride.
Some of them have. I have Magnus #1 from like 19, was it 91 or
Well,
92?
Harbinger #1 had a print run of like 50,000 and became hot there for a while. Was worth
Right.
about $50 or $60
Yeah.
in mint condition. But
Yeah.
but I mean, that's not a big run. 50,000.
Not really.
I mean the way they've put their politics in they have. I mean, when I sold books in my comic store in 82 and 83, when the direct market was first taking off,
Mm.
um, Spider-Man was selling maybe well over 200,000 copies. Now they're selling maybe 60,000.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's
And if
pretty
there's a
pathetic.
no-brainer, get
Mm.
whether it's good or bad, if it's
Mm.
Spider-Man, buy it, because
Yeah.
I would argue he's probably the most popular character in the world, and he sells when nothing else does,
That's
especially
true.
the old Ditko stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, other dealers won't even look at other things except maybe Spider-Man. That told me a
Exactly.
lot.
That's I think a lot of the SJWs kind of stay away from Spider-Man as they should.
Yeah.
You got to keep some of your titles pure, or else you're not going to sell anything. So I think a lot of that they have to control a lot of the politics or the you know you can't write from Twitter. Twitter Twitter doesn't give you enough experience. And we all know that. And if just if they have a good fan writing the book, it should sell. Just stay with the characters. Stay
Yeah.
true to the characters. It's not hard to do.
Well, look at Shooter, who wrote Legion of Superheroes when he was in junior high, like
Oh my
started
God!
at
Yeah.
age 13 or 14.
Wow.
They had to his parents had to drive him there to sign contracts, or they would help him with that. I mean, he
Yeah.
was only in junior high when he started reading, and he was just a fan, but he
Yeah.
knew the teen mind and what he wanted to read. And
Yeah.
I think it was the same thing with John Byrne. Oh, I get to do Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Right.
Finally, he put his all into it, what he wanted to see, those ideals that had been percolating in his mind for decades,
Oh
you know.
yeah.
I mean, that is, and same thing with Alex Ross, in his art. He's like, ooh, I really like Captain America, and I've always wanted to see him like this, but nobody ever quite did it like
Right.
I thought it should be done. And these people like that are never short of ideas. They're like
Exactly.
Gene Roddenberry.
Oh yeah.
I've heard Gene Roddenberry was never short for an ideal. That
Mm-mm.
people would come in and go, "We're stumped about this," and he would just look around on his desk and pull something out, and like, well,
Yeah.
what if we did this, and just have a great inspirational ideal just off the top of his head.
Exactly. Oh
Some people
man.
are like that. I had to think about some things for a while.
Hmm. Some people like Alfred Hitchcock, for example. He pretty much is creative in a way. He he tells the stories in his
Yeah.
films and TV shows, and he could pull out a plot out of his ass and just tell it like it is. And he's just such ingenuity the way he forms a
Yeah.
story around it. I
I
remember,
mean, even his side, he did several silent movies. He started in the
yeah,
silent era.
yeah, he did. Like in
Of
England,
course,
I think. Yeah,
yeah, right. I mean, it was in England, so we probably didn't see them till years later. Some of them released, but
true.
yeah, yeah. I mean, his angles, and he
Oh
was
yeah,
he was kind of like the Jim Steranko of film back then,
he was
or
definitely.
the director of 2001.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick. He
The
was really
worm's
into
eye view, the
cameras,
bird's
different
eye view.
lenses. Of course,
Yeah.
60s was a time of experimentation
Oh,
in
big time.
music.
Yeah,
You know,
that too.
I mean, if you played music, they'd sign you, and
Hmm.
they were just seeing what would hit and what wasn't. And
Exactly.
it was a time of experimentation, something they would never do today because it's
Oh,
all
that's so
about
true.
money.
Exactly.
And it is usually some of those independent thinkers that's, yeah, we'll take a chance on him. It may hit it out of the park or have the next hip hop or whatever, rap craze.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trip. Yeah.
But I
It's
mean, something we should all do is guard comics because it's uniquely American, like jazz music.
yeah.
It's a unique American art form. Has there been some done in France or England or, even the Middle East? Sure. But
Yeah.
it's uniquely American. We monetized it at a dime, at a nickel, at a penny. I even had little
Yes.
penny comics.
64 pages for a dime.
Yeah.
Ah, how about
And
that?
and a lot of times, like I say, during the war years, one staple to
Yeah, the
hold
one
all that
staple thing.
together
In fact, I think a lot
because
of
of
my mini
wartime rationing.
comics, I have, yeah, one staple on these little mini
Do you
comics, right?
really?
One staple. Hold it. Yeah, because they're so small.
You were channeling.
I was
So those are really.
They're
See,
real comics. Yeah,
okay,
we can pull one out. It's
okay.
it's He'll trip you out. I'll tell you what.
It's like the X-Men or some of the Marvel superheroes that I get at like Pizza Hut
Mhm.
or something, little digest size. Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead. I want to go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see these
This
bad
is the
boys.
Madam X.
There you
Okay.
go. Ooh,
Okay, I
yeah.
did a wraparound. This is a wraparound cover.
Oh,
Look at that.
Lord. Might as
Yeah.
well when you go that small.
Go that small, you gotta have a
Hitler
wraparound cover.
cover. Swastika
Yes,
cover.
Hitler. There's the
Yeah.
appearance of Adolf. How about that? Ooh.
Parents of
And of
Adolf.
course, at the first appearance of Adolf Hitler. Oh, not really, but out of the Apex Graphics universe,
So
yes,
you
you'll
took the
have it.
same drawing and used it for your splash page too.
Exactly.
That's
Yes. I
that's
did a complete
utilizing your
story.
art.
I even had
Yeah.
little ads. Look at the back. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Little 900 ads. Yeah. And yeah, there's where you can buy of a backlog catalog and
That's
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you
There you
use
go.
uh pens to color it?
Yeah,
Like
actually,
markers?
yeah,
See,
that's
that's
all
fun
black.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the markers for the cover, of
Yeah.
course. Of course, I blew it up at 8.5 by 11. It was
Did you make your own comics as a kid
well,
and staple them?
no, actually, I
You didn't?
drew as a kid. I never actually made a comic, physically. Well, I just drew things on paper and then kept them and uh, developed. I developed Enforcers Incorporated
I know a lot of people used to do that. I
high
did
school.
that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
all mine are gone.
I kept a lot of them, but somehow I've misplaced them. I don't know where he went to, and
Uh-huh.
I still have some of them backlogged somewhere through sketchbooks. I kept some of my sketchbooks and things I've done for
That's
years.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
those
quite
are
the
neat.
experiment.
That's neat to deal with little
Yeah,
format sizes, little
and
changes.
yeah, and this one is much had less pages, I think, than Nikolai Star. Same format. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually
So
did
you got a lot set in the golden age, huh?
a couple at least.
Yeah.
I had a story called Allied Heroes, which has Madam X and Nikolai, the same team, along with Blue Bullet. And the target, well, is a Brazilian guy who's proficient in hunting. And Professor Pug, which is an English professor's mind in a brain inside of a pug,
That's
a
neat.
pug dog. Yeah, yeah. So
That-
I've written a story about it. I've never actually executed the artwork, and I want to do it one of these days as one of my back burner projects.
yeah.
Yeah, Allied
Just
Heroes.
start out in one of those sketchbooks and say, I think
Yeah.
I'm just going to draw a pug today.
Uh-huh.
And, it'll develop into something. I've been thinking about a little bit more in depth on the origin of my character, Devil Flyer,
Oh, it
today
should.
or yesterday. Yesterday, it all blends together for me.
Oh,
I'm up
great.
late and go to bed late.
Oh,
If
yeah.
dawn's cracking outside, I'm going to bed probably.
Yeah. Funny. I gave Dale Keon a link here. I didn't know if he was going to appear tonight. I doubt it, but I also gave
Oh,
Adam
that'd
Post
be
a
cool.
link
He
and
doesn't know what he's missing.
Hex Allen and a couple,
Yeah.
one more. I think a Purple Smurf I did, but none of them
I
showed up.
saw
That's okay.
Felix. I didn't see Hex, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
good guys.
they're good guys. I'm sure they're pretty busy. That's fine. But
Oh yeah,
anyway,
always make time for you, Apex.
I appreciate you, man.
In
Appreciate you.
fact, I had a panic attack. I was in there with the dog, just going through these series, which these Doctor Who series, and
Oh yeah.
it's pretty soon when I pick up my new thing, which is on Blu-ray.
Mm,
It'll be these ones that I'm watching now on DVD. So we'll see if there's any quality difference. I'm sure there will be, but
right.
that doesn't matter to me. I like the graininess, of certain things.
A
I
certain
like
character.
certain things to be in black and white. Like, yeah, I was talking about the Dark Shadows. It went from 66 to 71 and started coloring, you said, in 69
I
up
think
to
so.
like
Yeah.
71. So
Yeah.
eventually, I guess they had to because all of TV was kind of going to color.
Yeah.
Although I know there was a mixture at first.
Yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
pilot to Get Smart was black and white, but all the series
It was
was
in
in
color.
was in
Yeah.
color. Because the pilot was in black and white.
What year was the pilot for Get Smart? Can you remember? Was it
When the year it
66?
came out, probably 66. Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
came out in 66.
Yeah.
And the Mod Squad. Remember the
Ah, I
Mod
remember the Mod
Squad?
Squad. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was a man, I was a small fry.
If you're not going back and getting that stuff either on Blu-ray or DVD, and I say get hard copies.
Yeah.
And but what gets me is I had to get a Blu-ray set about a year ago of Johnny Quest because they had censored the official release.
Oh.
Just a cartoon, they censored it.
Oh, dumb.
And all it was like is, the lizard man is falling to his death and Johnny Quest is smack talking him. Yeah, take that, or hope you have a great fall, or whatever he says. They cut that out.
That's so
I want to
stupid.
see it the way it was originally presented. That's history.
Me too.
Uncensored.
Yeah, stop. I wish they would stop censoring stuff. It's just stupid. Oh,
They're cutting out the best bits.
yeah, they can't do that.
I mean, Rocky and Bullwinkle, there was smack talk and stuff like that in there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, man.
It was made for children, but there's jokes only now I'm getting as an adult when I rewatch that stuff. Because it really was geared to adults as much as it was the children.
Right.
Fred, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, all that geared towards adult as well. And they released on prime time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I mean, and it wouldn't be till probably The Simpsons or something like that
1980s.
that anything was released on prime time ever again.
Yeah, 1989, I think, when Simpsons came on.
Probably.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. 88, 89. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of Simpsons, believe it or not, in the 30 years that they've been on, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's good.
yeah, it still holds up.
Yeah. I've got a season or two of Futurama.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's what you bump into. I'm
Yeah.
sure if The Simpsons came out at a reasonable thing, I bumped into it, had the money, I might get a few seasons. I might have a season or two, but
that's true.
Can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So I thank you for showing up, sir.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the panic attack. I was in there and I was like, oh man, I got to check the time, man. I don't miss it.
Oh, thanks for
doing it. It was like 9. I'd been watching.
Thank you for help saving my show.
For so long. I thought, man, it must be late into the night. It got dark out,
It's after Apex after
midnight.
dark.
I missed it.
Yeah.
No.
Show up, But anyway, man, it's fun talking with you. As always, we always talk about things, pop culture, comics, whatsoever.
Yeah,
and I'd like to thank the people who are watching later on and the mighty chat. Thank you for showing up. So just until next time, folks, ciao for now.
Ciao.
All right.